name is Mei-Ling Chan, and I have joined the Cognition team. I'm so excited to be working with this amazing group of people. We have an amazing SpeakPros app that is out there, and that's to help people to communicate using a app that is available on an iPad, and it's referred to as an AAC, an augmentative alternative communication device. Very, very excited. Welcome, everyone. If you can find the comment section, you can go ahead and type a comment and say hello. I'm just going to double check on my phone to make sure that we are live. You never know how these things are going, so I know there's a little bit of a delay. So I'm going to just make sure everyone can get into the room here. Going live on the SpeakPros page, and I know my mom is going to be saying, I don't see you yet. So let's just see, streaming live. Super excited here today. Good morning, or good afternoon for those of us who are in the later time zones. It is only 9 o'clock here in Phoenix. All right. Welcome, welcome. Yes, Laura Stevenson. Thank you so much. Thank you for joining us. Come on in. Welcome, my name is Mei-Ling Chan, and I am a member of Cognition. I'm so excited to join them as Director of Growth and Achievement. We have been doing some amazing work behind the scenes the last couple of weeks, as I'm sure you all have also. It really has been an amazing journey here. If you see over to my right, I have a little widget, it's called, and it says 47 days of quarantine. And that's how many days my family has chosen to stay at home. So being in Arizona, we are on the forefront of deciding what we're going to do starting May 1st. So that's going to be a big change for all of us, deciding how much we're going to go out and be, connecting with other people. And I tell you, I really miss other people. So thank you for joining us. The reason I wanted to go live today is to review this phrase-based partner-assisted communication aid PDF that we've created here as a team at Cognition, and also with some other outside support. The reason that we created this was because there was an imminent need for people to be able to communicate while on a ventilator or not being able to voice because of what's been going on with COVID. So we really dug into what is out there already and what we've already been using in the medical community. But the journey to actually creating this PDF was very emotionally intense for us and the people who supported the work. And that's because we really touched on a deeper level of communication and topics that we feel really need to be available to people in this current situation. So I'm going to take a moment and go through this. I really invite you to think about the options that we have in here, and also think about them as conversations that you should be having with your family, and just making sure that all of your wishes, your real wishes, are communicated. Okay, so I'm really excited. I'm using the BeLive app, which gives me a lot of really cool tools on the back end. So let's go ahead, and I'm going to show the first page. This is all available online, so you can download it for free and print it out. And then you will see little tabs on the side that you can cut out and put it together. You can laminate it, which will make it wonderful for taking it into the patient's room, and then you can wipe it down with antiseptic, antibacterial wipes. Okay, so our first page kind of gives you the directions, and I'm going to grab my copy here, which I printed out and had laminated. Okay, it says print and laminate all pages of this document, and then cut out the sections on each page marked with a little tab. Then this will create a flipbook, right? And then you can use your fingers to go down, and I'm going to show you how to do that so that you can kind of be the selection tool for them. And then when they either blink or nod, they can smile, whatever works best for that patient, that'll help you to identify specifically what they want to communicate. Okay, so let's go to our next page. So the first one is actually pretty classic. Working in the hospitals myself, one of the things that we feel is extremely important is to identify their level of pain and location of pain. So typically it's a 1 to 10 scale. We did this a little bit differently. So you have, I feel okay, I have some pain, lots of pain, all the way up to unbearable, which would typically be a 10. And then if I bring this here, let's see how I get that there. If I get that there, what you would want to be doing is coming up and saying, are you okay? Do you have some pain? And what you're looking for is for the patient to either blink, smile, nod if they can. Now, remember, we may have restricted movement, but in some way to be able to let you know, even if they can raise their hand. So there's different ways for them to gesture and to communicate their options. This is something I have not seen, which is I feel like I may throw up and I need to use the toilet. So some people may still be having these bodily functions. So we want to be able to know that we can respect that. And then we have the yes, no, and I like the one in the middle, which is I don't know, or I'm confused. Okay. That brings us to the next one, which these are a little deeper. So I need you to help me. I want to ask a question. I need a different kind of help. So, we can't put every possible phrase onto something like a low tech, okay? So we do have an app which is called the Speak Pros Pro app, where you can edit and you can put quick phrases on there that people would be able to touch and or gesture to be able to activate. So that's another option that you might want to look into. We also have ones that are a little deeper now when we go into I've made a decision, I have more decisions. Okay, we're going to go to our next page. Oops, sorry, that was the same one. Let's go to the next one. Okay, this one is a little deeper. So how much is this going to cost? Now, we've all heard that COVID-related medical fees are going to be covered, waived, kind of gray. We're not really sure about that depending on your health coverage. So that's important. Catheter. So we may have a catheter in place and maybe painful, needs repositioning. Again, not feeling well. We did have, I thought, a very novel idea of going into the feminine hygiene. So when I picked this up here, I need help. That's really interesting and new. And then this is very direct. And then how about personal preference? And so that was brought up to the team and we said, yeah, you know what? That needs to be on there. So very, very important. The next one is a little deeper. We're going into, am I going to be okay? These are questions that you're only seeing a certain number of healthcare workers. You may have a nurse, you may have a respiratory therapist, maybe a speech therapist. And so these are questions that we want to give people the opportunity to be able to ask. When will I be going home? Do they know, are they getting better? Can someone bring me some things? Can my pet come to visit me? This week we had our first dog that was diagnosed with COVID. It's a pug. He's adorable. So that's a question. If they're in a facility that allows visits, I don't know, maybe we'll get there. Great question, because for a lot of us, there are fur babies, right? What do I have? Maybe they don't even know if it is COVID related. It may just be pneumonia, right? We don't know. So these are questions that we need to be able to express. And then, hitting me right here is, can you tell my family I love them? Simply, that's not a yes/no question. That's an ability to express something so important. So we'll go to the next one. And here we go, more deeper into our conversations. I don't understand my options. So, someone might be coming in and talking to them and you want to say, do you understand? So I'm going to hold this up and you say, you have this option, you have that option. May not be a yes, no, and we can go down to the bottom and say yes, and no is really far away, which is important. That was something that Lucas Stuber, who is a linguist and also a speech language pathologist, he was actually the one who designed this, and he knew that it was really important that we don't have ambiguity. It's yes and no is all the way on the other side, or I don't know. And so now we're getting into a little deeper level. If it's at all possible, I want to go home. Maybe that's an option. So we want to have these deeper level conversations. Please call my lawyer. I need my family to be taken care of, or I just want to be alone. When someone comes in and you don't know that you're in their room and they just want space. That's been my experience also as a speech language pathologist. I have been in the room and they just don't want to engage. Someone just is not in the mood that day, and that's okay. So we want to respect that. This one is another very, very important conversation here. So the one right at the top, I want to live, but I know I'm very ill. So I'm getting a little shaky because these are important conversations and we all need to have them, right? I do understand my choices. So someone who is having these end-of-life transitioning questions, we need to know, do they understand? And that is, again, more than just a simple yes or no. I want to make my own decisions. I do not want to have food or fluid artificially. So we've talked about that. I mean, how many times have I heard people say, I never want to be fed by a tube. If I get to that point, I just want to be done. Well, we need to confirm that. That is really, really important that we have that conversation. And the person talking with them is most likely not going to be their family. So this is what we're doing, is giving our healthcare workers, or the person who's with that patient during those times, we're giving them the opportunity to touch on these really, really important topics. The next was, I'm ready to let go now, and please tell my family they will be okay. So this was a very, very emotional project for our team, because we worked with my husband, who is Cameron Svensson, who actually is VP of Faith Hospice here in Arizona, and his team. And so his team are these angels, hospice workers who go out every single day and help people to transition and help people and families through the process. And they really helped us to come up with what are the questions and the conversations that we need to allow people to have during these times. And it was even more emotional when we thought, you know what, we don't have our teams there with them. We don't have a social worker. We don't have the hospital case manager going in. We don't have their loved one bedside holding their hand as they make these decisions. And so, when you do something low tech like this, there's not a lot of real estate. That's what we call it. There's only so many tiles on a page. And so we had to be selective and very cautious about what we put on those tabs. And I'm sure that you've seen a lot of other PDFs that are out there, and they are fantastic. And they also, I know their teams were racing to put something together and make sure that they also offered these types of conversations. And so, along with all of the other PDFs and resources that are out there, I just want to let you know that, we're really proud to have come together to create this for you and for our medical staff. We have one more. Let's see. I know I missed it. Let's go. Okay. So this one is another interesting and unique page. I have a pre-existing condition. So we talk about comorbidities. Someone might have an allergy to a medicine that maybe we weren't able to catch early on, or just something else that they want us to know. I might be pregnant. Oh my gosh, that was such an important one. That might be something they have not shared yet. So we needed to put it on there as an option. I would like to use my cell phone. So there are a lot of great success stories coming out where people are connecting and sharing, very independently with their own cell phones, which is wonderful. Thank you. How about thank you? And not just thank you. Thank you so much for your help. So we really wanted to give you more expressive connectiveness, warmth in communication. And then, can you stay with me for a while? So that is something that I'm going to just go to this again. Trying to think that the person going through it is touching and giving the person each one as an option, right? And so, can you stay with me for a while is something that we've heard is very common, obviously in all medical situations. But we do know that our health professionals are very, very busy at this time. And maybe it's just that extra second, extra 2 minutes. And that's a long time. I know 2 minutes is a long time. But just to respect and be in someone's space together with them. I'm unhappy with you or this care. That I felt was such a great statement, because it really gives someone the opportunity to express, again, more than just yes, no, more than just a pain level. It may be very, very personal. And this is something that we all need to know in order to increase the level of the service and everything that we're supporting and providing. Can I have something to write on? At this level, we don't want to limit someone to just this type of communication. Maybe they're capable of writing. And, I know how many times I've been looking at something and jotting notes. And so get me a pen, and I can really, really communicate what I want to at that level. So I really thought that was genius on that one. Okay, and then we have, I just want to make sure. I feel like I may have missed one, and I want to make sure that I haven't. No, I think we're good. Okay, then we have write in custom phrases. So that brings me to, yes, if you're able to write, I would use a Sharpie so that you can mark it off. And most likely it's not going to be in these pretty little box fields, right? So we're prepared for that. We're not doing penmanship at this point, but there may be quick phrases that people want to keep saying over and over, and it's not on these boards, that's great. So write them down, and then again, you would be referring back to it and going, is it this one? Is it this one? And being able to capture something that is very individual. That is something that we do within the Speak Pros app. It is actually a really basic piece of what we do, is that you should be able to create individualized statements and say what you want to say quickly. And then going back to what I would say is the traditional no tech AAC. That means obviously there's no tech. So we get to this and we say, okay, I've gone through all the choices, go back to the first page or the second page, and we'll go through them again, and now I understand what's available and I know what I want. Or maybe we're doing a lot of work on the part as the communication partner. And so as you're trying to interpret what they're saying, you give them a statement and they say, yes, that is it. So we go to yes, and then you go to this one because you really want to make sure, is that exactly what you wanted to communicate? And then, or that's not what I want to say. And then we have spelling, so you can spell them out. We're doing those boards. And again, once you have the words, so you're helping them to create the different words. And once you have the word, that's exactly what I want to say. So we really want to make sure that we are clarifying and confirming the communication message. That's what's essential at this stage. So that's our step-by-step. Please find the PDF. I will put the link in this post afterwards. It's free. You can download it. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be laminated. It doesn't have to be cut. It just has to be available. So whether it's this or another tool that you're using, we highly recommend that you have it available. And then I have in the title here is be ready to have these conversations. Cameron and I highly recommend, as people that have been in the end of life area for years now, we highly recommend that you have these conversations with your loved ones, whether they're your decisions or your loved ones' decisions, because we are in very, very challenging times. And, I would love to say we're all going to live till we're 90. We don't know that, and we may be making decisions much, much earlier than we had planned. And so I really feel like this tool is fantastic for getting those difficult conversations going.